Okay, in this one we're going to learn how to do a form of montage in Photoshop. You can do it, I'm going to do this one for like a kind of comedic effect, but you can use the same technique to try and sort of like put objects onto a photo to give it like perhaps a different meaning. Alright, so from the very start I'm going to go to File, I'm going to go to New, and then first of all you should always like name what you're going to do. So if I just put like Montage at the top there, and then if you just go into preset, I'm going to go to international paper, then go to size and an A4, okay, and also just make sure your resolution's at 300. Yeah, if you're going to print, then usually we set this one quite high. 300 is perfect. Background contents, white is fine. Once that's done, press OK. Now at the moment, all depending on what subject matter you're going to drop into your page, mine is portrait. So what I'd like to show you is, first of all, if you go to image and go to image rotation and then 90 degrees clockwise, obviously you can turn it that way if you want to. If you don't, just go edit undo. Okay, so the images I'm going to use, get your images all together and then literally just open them up as and when you need them. I'm going to go in, I'm going to have a football team, and then I'm just going to do right click and open with. If you can't do right click and open with, obviously go into file, open, and then find your actual photos. So I'll just get those. Okay, and once you've got that, open them up. Now what this will do is it's going to open it up in a different window altogether. So you can see up here I've got my original page, which is called Montage, and then I've got this one here, which is my football team. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag that one down a bit so you can actually see the white page and you can see the one on top. Okay, now this is a technique which you'll use quite a bit to get images onto one image. Yep. So the first thing is I always drag from the layers palette. So if you can't see the layers palette, go to window and click layers, alright, and it will come up with a tick, or alternatively you can press F7. So if I just go onto this one now, and I'm just going to literally drag that one on here. Now you can see it's obviously quite small at the moment, but now this whole image is on that white page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this one, and I'm going to go about resizing this. To resize, I can go to edit, transform and scale, remembering to hold shift down so it stays in proportion. Now don't worry about it looking pixelated at the moment. I'm just going to double click that and it'll be fine. Now as I said earlier, if your image suits landscape, then you can always go to image rotation and 90 degrees clockwise, and then go back to this one and go to rotate, and you can actually pull that one around. Okay, now if you want to resize that, a little quick way of doing it is if you just right click while the boxes are still around it, it'll give you this option, so you can actually do all the other sort of distortion tools or scaling and distort and skew and perspective without actually going back into free transform. Okay, so now I'm fitting that whole thing so the page one's ready, double click. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give these football players handbags. So again I'm going to go in and go file, open, and I'm just going to pick out some of these, open, and again, and again. Okay, so I've got 3 of them open now. You can see they've obviously piled up on top there. I've got 1, 2, 3. So the same thing applies. Just drag that one down, drag that one down, drag that one down, and then literally just drag them on. And every time you do it, I'd always close them down. Okay. And again. Okay, so the first things first. Obviously these images have got white backgrounds, so you need to get rid of those. So to do that, if you go to Magic Wand and then just click on the white space, you'll see a selection, marching ants will come up around it. All you need to do now is just press delete and it will get rid of them. Obviously we've got these bits in here as well, so you need to make sure all of those bits are done. If you can't see things, zoom in so we can get in between the straps there. Okay, and just here as well. Then once you're ready, deselect that by pressing Ctrl and D, and you can zoom back out. If you press Alt, it'll give a minus in there, and you can see we're zooming back out. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of the others. Now on this, as you can see, a mistake has happened, deliberate mistake, and it selected the whole area. That's because I'm on the wrong layer and I clicked outside of this selected area. So I'm going to go to layer 3, and then I'm going to click on layer 3. Okay, so I can see that that bag is there. Look, you can just see it in the middle. So same technique, just go through, delete all the bits that you don't need, then layer 2, click on those bits, and just in the center. Good, and then deselect is just Control and D. Okay, so now we're going to put it on the football player. So to do that, to move them around, go to your move tool, grab whichever one it is, and you're going to basically just rub out the areas that you don't want. So I can put this furry one on his arm. Okay, and I'm going to go to layer 3. I'm going to get this one going somewhere. Looks quite good there. Okay, just put them basically in the space for now, and always remember to go to the layer that you're working on. So layer 2, is it layer 4? Sorry, is there. So you could have one there, or you could have one in his hand. So from here now, all I'm going to do is rub out the areas that are basically going to be behind the player's arms. Yeah. So I'm just going to have a look at this one, make sure it's the right layer. That's that layer over there. So I think it's layer 2. There we go. And it's just making sure that it will fit really. So let's have a look at this one. That might be a little bit awkward there. So if we do have this problem, what you can do is go to Edit, Transform, and Rotate, and we can just make it look like it should be there. Alright, so we could have it at a bit of an angle. Okay, again, as I explained before, if you right click in there, you get all the other options in terms of the transform tool. So you can make that hole a little bit bigger so it looks like it would fit on his arm. Okay, and then once you're ready, double click. So the only bits you're going to sort of see are the bits in front. So you're going to want to rub the bits out that are behind the arm. So go and grab your rubber, make sure you've resized it so it's not too big, the brush, and then literally just take the bits out that you don't need. So everything behind needs rubbing out. Now I might have taken out a little bit too much there because there's a little gap there where I'd imagine you'd probably be able to see part of the bag. So if you do make a mistake, you need to go to your window and grab your history. Now my history is already up on the side there, and if I just take a step back, you can see I've got everything there that I need. So I'm just going to rub out again this time being a little bit neater and leaving that under there, and you can see it does actually look like he's wearing it on his arm. So I'm going to repeat that for the others. So I'm just going to go over to this one and move this one into place. Again, I'm going to rotate it ever so slightly. I'm going to resize it as well. So right click and double click. So again, just take the bits off that you don't want. So grab your rubber, and just take the bit out on the arm so it looks like it's going in behind his arm. And then finally number 4, again I'm just going to make sure that it's the right angle and also the right size. So I'm just going to rotate it ever so slightly, scale it again, okay, I'm just going to drop it down there and grab the rubber. obviously for more detail you can zoom right in, but you can see with that it's quite a comedy photo. You got the footballers there with their handbags. Okay, that's some basics there, just learning how to use your history, use your layers, how to use the eraser tool, and how to obviously get images in from elsewhere and import them in onto one image.